Hey guys, it's Nico and I'm back. Yes, I'm back. We're going to start doing these podcast interviews again. We are going to be getting people in, get more content. Um, there's a better way for me to do things now. I got burnt out all of last year. I think I went way too hard, way too fast. I was able to get like 80 plus interviews. I was doing three, four, five, sometimes six a day. And I just got burnt out. And it took a while for me to recover back. And dude, it just sucked. So now that we're back, I'm going to try to get these more consistently. Maybe one a week is better for me, considering all the other things that I'm also taking care of, like Nico Industries and membership and all, so on and so forth. So we're back, and today's interview is going to be Dustin. Dustin is going to come on board, and he's going to tell us how he started his business, how he's actually quit his job, and he's going to go full time into this entire thing. And I'm so proud of him. You guys are going to hear how he did that. But first, let me talk to you guys about the 3D Printed Profits Academy. All right. It's an online community where I teach you everything I know about building your own 3D printing business. And here you'll find design courses, business courses, access to coaching calls, access to previous coaching calls, and other members just like you who are trying to better themselves and build their own businesses. All right. And here, when you guys do the coaching calls, you guys get to have immediate access to me where I will critique and help you with whatever problems, specific problems that you're having in your business. And we can talk about it and the group can see it so that if they are going to go through that problem, they can also see that and fix that as well. So join us at 3dprintedprofits.com and I'll catch you there, and let's start on with the interview. All right, Dustin, welcome. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here, man. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot of stuff to do. Look at all the stuff that you got back there.
There's a few things.
I'm trying to figure out which one is mine.
Oh,
Which one is mine?
Oh, I think I'm blocking them.
You blocked
There's some
mine
over
off?
there.
Come on,
No,
man.
there's some over there. There's some over here. There's some
Anyway,
there. They're a little
I want to
everywhere.
introduce you guys to Dustin. Dustin's a long friend of mine. He and I have we go back for shit, man, years, bro. Years. And Dustin has built a business. You know what? We'll talk about all that today. So, Dustin, welcome to the show, Ben.
Thanks. Glad to be
So,
here.
let's start. Let's introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and what your business is.
Okay. I'm Dustin Hale. I live in Whitewood, South Dakota. It's a small podunk town, about 600 people. So my business I started part-time is called Mindless Creations with a K. We have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it kind of started out going to craft fairs with my wife. She was doing a lot of craft fairs with Avon and Young Living, and then she started doing some handmade stuff and like using the Cricut and doing that type of thing. Well, I started doing some 3D prints. My brother-in-law got me into it, and we started doing those. Sold a few, not too much.
What were those first 3D prints that you guys made?
Oh man, it was pretty much a lot of stuff off Thingiverse, like pretty much everybody,
Yeah, just
and
like typical how everybody started.
yeah, like little Marios and stuff like that. And then I found Hex 3D, and then I found you, and it just spiraled out of control after there. You know,
You make
so
that sound like it's a bad thing.
you have no idea my filament cost, man. It's insane around here.
Okay, no, now I have to know, what is your filament cost?
I haven't even ran through my receipts, but about 20 rolls of filament will last me about 2 weeks.
That's it?
Yeah.
20 rolls?
20 rolls will last me 2 weeks,
Golly. Dang.
especially if I'm getting ready to go to a Comic Con or something.
Oh, okay. I see. So, tell me about the business, man. What is it that you sell? What is it that you do?
Okay. Most of the stuff I do is all cosplay stuff. As you can see, I do a lot of helmets. I do a
Mhm.
lot of big Grogus, a lot of masks, especially the Mortal Kombat masks and stuff that you've been dropping. Those are
Oh
going to sell like
yeah.
hotcakes.
There's a lot more Mortal Kombat MK1 stuff coming, especially
Oh,
that Scorpion one you sent me with like teeth. I was like, that is so badass. So
yeah.
yeah, those are coming.
But that's kind of the area I stay into. I do a few of the little flexies, the ones that you dropped, just to have a cheaper price point when I go to Comic Cons. But most of my stuff is all wearable, and I'm going to say functional, even though it's cosplay, it's, functional cosplay.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
I sell some just online, on Facebook, my site there. Most of it I sell at Comic Cons. The TikTok is picking up pretty good. The TikTok shop is,
Yeah, yeah,
but it
yeah. So
takes
we'll
a lot
talk
of
about
work.
TikTok Shop here in a little bit. I've got to make notes here on my pad. Um, but what was the initial investment for the business? Like, how did it all start? You said that once you found me, everything spiraled out of control. So so
Well,
so explain to me how the business came about, man.
my brother-in-law got a 3D printer, and it was, I don't even know, it was some little itty bitty one. And then he got an Ender, and then he talked me into getting an Ender, which I feel like everybody starts with the damn Ender. And
It's a rite of passage.
yeah,
I actually
frustration.
I've never had an ender ever in my life.
Oh my gosh.
My machine was a CR10. I went CR10, CR10 S4, S5, and I was like, they can't. This is not leveled at all. Went back to an S4, and then that was good for me.
Well, when I got the Ender, I started doing little stuff. And then I'm like, I want to do a helmet. So I got a artillery Sidewinder X1.
Mm,
And I still have one of them, but they're old. They don't work the greatest. There's a lot of maintenance, but you know what? They get the job done.
hmm.
And at one time I had 8 of those running after I started going.
Dang. So how did you get to eight, man? Like start me off from the very beginning. How did it all start? Like, so your brother had a 3D printer, and then
He
you wanted
talked me
something
into it.
bigger.
Yeah, I wanted something bigger, so I got one X1. And after the craft fairs and stuff we were doing, I wasn't selling much. I'd take like 5 helmets, and I didn't sell a single helmet.
Oh wow.
So there was this Comic Con, and back then it was $200 for a little 8 foot booth. And my wife and I talked about it, and we're like, we'll try it. So we tried it, and I sold all but one helmet within the first 2 hours.
Wow.
So
So
that's
what
kind
was
of
the
the
lesson
point.
there?
That you have to find your market. It's not going to come to you. Old ladies at craft fairs are not going to be your forte if you're trying to sell helmets.
Smart, smart. So that's actually one of the things that I teach in the Theory Printed Profits Academy, right? You have to know, like, I'm not going to a uh like My Little Pony show with Mandalorian stuff,
Yep.
right? Like this is it doesn't work out. So anyway,
So,
so you sold all but one in the first 2 hours. What's
yep,
which were they? Which helmets were they?
they were a lot. This was before I found your site, so it was mostly just the Hex 3D stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back at my stuff, I was like, now I'm like, whoa, my quality is not what it was.
Shit, and
It
they
was
still
way
bought it,
questionable
right?
compared to, yeah, they still, and I was selling them for $100, which was a good price then.
So was $100 a raw print or was that finished?
Fully done, visor,
Yeah.
paint, everything.
Wow.
And I
Yeah,
was
that
still
was a
making
steal for
money.
them. No wonder they sold that at $100. Yeah.
Well, even now, my stuff, all my stuff now is finished with an automotive grade clear, all automotive paint, hand painted. And right now, I still do 150 to 175 on my helmets.
Good. Good for you. Good.
So,
Raw print, I think, should be about 75 to 100. Finished should be more, way more.
yeah.
All
So
right. So
that's how it
you sold a
started.
four within the first 2 hours, and you're like, oh, quality's bad. Where do we go from here?
So I went from that having one, just I had 2 printers, just the little ender and that sidewinder.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to another sidewinder. And
Mm-hmm.
then it went to the X2s from artillery. And from there, it kind of spiraled a little bit. I found a deal on some ones that were returns. And I have an automotive background, so I'm pretty good mechanical wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought 3 of them, and I think I paid $150 for 3 of them, and then fixed
Wow.
them
For
all
almost
in.
$50 for one? Dang.
Yeah. So I fixed them all and got them all up and running. And, you know, we did, oh, that first year we did 3 shows. Yeah.
The first year?
4 shows in the first year.
Okay.
And we did this little show in Billings, Montana, and it ended up being more of a customer appreciation than it was an actual Comic Con. And
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I were bored and we're sitting there and we're like, okay, let's look around, see what else. So we
Mm-hmm.
found FanX in Utah. And we were talking, we're going from 200 people, 500 people at a show to 100,000.
Thousands.
Yeah. So we bit the bullet and went down there and we did really well. And it's just been picking up ever since then.
Define really well.
We actually did well, better the first year at Fanex than we did last year, but it was right at 7,000 in 3 days.
Nice.
That was gross, but
Atta boy. I mean, if you're going by margins, my guess is that your cost for that 7 was about at 2.
the booth was expensive. The booth was like 1,200, and
Plus materials and all that. Okay, so you're at about
yeah,
25,
we
3.
were about 2,500 into that
Still,
show.
dude, to turn $2,500 into 7 grand in 3 days is pretty damn impressive.
Yep. And from there, like, I don't know. I'm actually switching and doing full time in this now. I
Wow,
quit my other
congratulations,
job.
man.
So
Dude,
this
for
is
real?
gonna be the first year. Yeah, for real.
Okay,
I quit
so
my other job.
Dustin didn't tell me this in the pre-show chat, right? You know, you always chat before you actually turn the camera on. So, dude, badass, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm glad you saved that for like an actual reaction from me because I'm stunned. Dude,
Yep.
that's awesome. That's great to hear, man.
It's kind of crazy. I've been working the same job for 21 years doing taxidermy. And
No shit.
yeah, it has nothing to do with this, but
No, because you went from automotive to taxidermy to 3D printing.
yep. Yeah, I'm all over the place. So, and I was kind of doing everything at one time. So I talked to my wife and, we're like, it's time for a change. And she's like, well, give it a year and see how you do. So that's what we're doing.
That's
And right
awesome.
now,
Congratulations, bro. That's awesome. That's great news.
I think I'm looking at my list here. I think I have 11 shows locked in for this year.
11?
So 11 so far. Yeah.
So, okay. So at least one a month.
Yep.
Dude, that's
February,
awesome,
there's 2. I couldn't get into one in January. So my first one is the ATL Comic Convention in Atlanta coming up in February.
Y'all driving all the way to Atlanta?
Yes, 22 hours in a Suburban.
Jeez. Well, you know what, man? That's the hustle, bro, right?
Oh, that's part of it.
People always forget the hustle part of, the term side hustle, right? It's a hustle. You got to work. You got to hustle.
Oh, yeah.
So how much are you making a month now on your business? Gross.
Depends on which month. Like last year, anywhere from, oh gosh, $100 to $10,000, depending on the month. You know what I mean? It's last year.
Let's call it 5. I'll meet you in the middle. Let's call it 5.
Last year was part-time only, and I think I did 6 shows, and a lot of it's local stuff. So it all depends on where I went and everything like that.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And with all these new shows, I fully expect you to double, triple business. Dude, that's awesome.
I'm hoping to go out and hopefully clear 40 to 50K this year. That's kind of my goal. We'll see if it happens. A lot of these demographics I haven't been to, so I don't know what they're interested in. And a lot of it depends on what new shows, movies, everything drops.
Yeah. So you do have to make sure, again, like we said, right? You have to make sure you're catering to that audience, right? Yep. And you have to understand, it's like going to, say you go to a reptile convention, and they have those. They have one here in Sacramento. You wouldn't bring props, right? But I bet you those fucking dragons will sell.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you have to match your product with where you're going. And you don't always have to bring props. You don't always have to bring those dragons. There are a lot more. There's a ton of ways to make money with 3D printing. You just have to know how to use it, right?
There's a ton. The one thing I stay away from is I do not do flexi dragons. That I stay away from it.
I think it's a race to the bottom.
It is.
I think so, because
the hell out of me.
Everyone, their mother's in there. Etsy's flooded with it.
In FanX last year, there was 47 3D vendors.
Dude, it's a lot. People are realizing that 3D printers. You basically have your own manufacturing facility in your house, right? It's like having your own factory at home. And so for you to be able to produce these toys, these products at a smaller scale to sell at these conventions for a side hustle for just a little bit of beer money, dude, it's it's a great way to make money. But man, there's a lot. There,
There's a ton because I
yeah,
would say
and
there's,
everyone is doing the same thing. Everyone's
oh
doing the
yeah,
same thing.
Cinderwig Dragons,
But there's
9 out of
so many
10.
more ways, you guys. I'm telling you, there is, and I want to teach you guys that. Um, your 3D printer is a tool. That's all it is. And it's a versatile tool that can make so many things for a blanket of industries, right? So we'll talk more about that in the academy. So the way you got your first clients and customers was via convention, right?
Yep. And it
Awesome.
was a little convention, it wasn't Rapid City Comic Con. There's maybe 1,000 people
1,000
at that.
people, dude. That's like Walmart on a good day.
It, and it was interesting, and it was quick, and we were surprised, and we had some stuff set up in a little hometown market.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first day, I'm like, wife, you need to go get the other stuff. And she went and got the other stuff. She came home and took my stuff off the walls that I had hung up as display. I mean, we were just funneling everything we could into it because we had nothing left. It was, and I look at my display and I go, holy crap, I don't even know how I sold that with my display. It was just some plastic racks
That's
sat up
awesome,
and
bro. That's great. Um, so what filament are you using now?
primarily new makers.
New makers?
Uh,
Okay. Oh,
yep.
you're the one who was telling me about those guys.
Yep.
I gotta contact them.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I'm
gotta
going to
reach
throw
out.
this out there. If you use code mindless creations 10, you'll save 10% on your order.
There you go.
So
Mindless Creation Send. We'll link that in the show notes in the bottom. And are you still using the artillery sidewinders?
no, well, I
What
got
are you
one of
using
them.
now?
I have two bamboos, not those fancy ones you got. I got the P1Ps. I got the single color P1Ps.
The single color P1 piece. Hey, you know what? They do the job.
Yep.
They do
I
the job.
have,
I like these just because they're so, dude. Even the P1Ps, man, they're such a good value. They're
they're
workhorses. They're
fast and
fast. They print phenomenally. I mean, I can't complain, dude. Bamboo Labs right now is king of the machines, dude.
as soon after this next convention, I'm going to pick up a third one and then I'm going to hold off and see if they bring out a bigger one.
I think
But
they're in the process of getting an X1 like XL, like a big one, like 300 by something or 350 by something.
I would love for them to drop a 400 by 400 by 400.
I will, dude. I'll be,
That
I'll buy two immediately. I'll
because
sell these and get those.
I have that Mingda Pro, that 400, 400, 400
Mm-hmm.
has the bed space, but holy cow, that thing's a pile of crap.
Oh, really?
Oh, it is. It is a disaster.
Oh shit! I'm sorry to hear that, man.
So,
So,
I
how many
deal with it
machines do you
for
have now? What's your print farm look like?
print farm is the two bamboos, the one sidewinder, that Mingda Pro, and my brother-in-law left Ender Pro here when he moved. So
Okay, so
that's all I have
is
right
your
now.
brother-in-law still printing or is he done?
He is. He has an X1C with an AMS that he lives in a camper now. So he has it all hooked up in his camper. It's great. Yeah.
That's so crazy, man. He has a camper and a 3D printer.
Yep.
That's
He's
nuts.
like, I can fit two of them and two AMSs in this location. And I'm like,
Is he
okay.
like a nomad where he just likes to travel?
Yeah, he's a great guy, but he's
Dude,
hard to get a hold
that's
of. We'll
actually
put it
really
that
cool,
way.
I think, man.
I
No
think he's in
kids?
Texas right now. I don't know. He's somewhere
He doesn't have
warm.
any kids, huh?
Nope, no kids.
That explains it.
So
Dude, if I didn't
yeah,
have
it's
any
great.
kids, I'd probably do some shit, same stuff, man. Um, so what were your first struggles when you first started?
Keeping them running. Just in general, keeping the printers running. It
So keeping up with demand is what my guess. You know
well,
what you're saying? Keeping up with demand because your printers need to keep
demand
running.
versus like even now I can keep up if somebody wants something,
Mm-hmm.
but the quality of machines that you run really depends on the quality that you can put out
Mm,
and the maintenance. Like those sidewinders always were going through ribbon cables, they were going through hot ends, nozzles, everything. And that is an added cost, and it just hits you over and over again. You're like, oh, it's whatever, it's a ribbon cable, it's $20. Oh, it's a nozzle, I can buy a whole pack of them. Yeah, until you end of the year, you go and figure that out, and you see exactly how much you spent on that
Yeah,
crap.
then you've spent like $100 just in ribbons alone,
Yeah,
$100
it's
in nozzles, right?
and it's failed prints. You get halfway through and you have a clogged nozzle, and filament has a lot to do with it. I was running probably like everybody else, LLD Max, and what, 3D GSP or GTS or whatever the
Hmm.
crap was, the cheap stuff, cheap stuff. And I was having so many problems with tangles and particles in the filament. And when it's taken 80 hours to do a helmet and you get a particle and it jams it, you're screwed,
Gone. Yep.
because I'm not going to put them back together.
Right,
That's
right,
my quality issue. That's my kind of my sales
right.
pitch is I do them in one piece.
So waste is a big issue for you then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that is
now,
something that people don't really factor in is waste when they're starting a business, especially on the physical product side, is that what do you do with failed prints, right? You got to factor that cost into the final product that you sell.
yep. And if you start piecing them together, your quality isn't the same to me. It takes a lot of time. You can get it there, but then you're spending more time to get the same product. And it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. So how did you get over those print issues? Your
A
first
lot of it
struggles,
is
how did you fix those? How did you overcome them?
a lot of it is I did a lot of testing as far as temperatures, and I switched to new makers. And if you stay with the same filament, once you figure out, hey, this needs 220 degrees to run good, to melt good, everything like that, you're good to go. But it's the machine too. Like, I just checked the hours on my bamboos the other day, and I've only been running these bamboos one since August and one since October.
Mm-hmm.
The one since August, I have over 1,900 hours on,
Wow.
and the one since October is at 1,500, I believe.
Jeez.
I just changed the nozzle for the first time on the long one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. These things are hot, dude. They're workhorses, man. They're
And
amazing, dude.
I've had one, I'm not going to say it was a clog. It was the filament broke inside of it,
Mm,
but and I had to get that stupid cutter, the little sensor on it.
mm.
They had to warranty that, but that's all I've had go wrong. Knock
Gotcha.
on
Well, I
wood over
mean,
here.
at, at least that's all that was wrong, right?
Yep. And that's a lot of it. I still get fails. I got a fail the other day doing the Kakashi mask that you had. I got one printed out perfect, and then the next one is a broke free. The support broke free. It was a cluster, and
Oh,
I'm like, come on,
dude,
man.
I love that wooden one, man.
It should look good. I haven't cleared it yet, but
Dude,
it'll look
that
good.
thing, it gives it that more real kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, yeah, I get it. The smooth one. Oh, it looks just like that one from the show. But if there was ever a live action, that's what it would look like. You know what I
And
mean?
I've gave away quite a few of my tips and tricks on TikTok, but that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
was
yeah. So
done all
speaking
with.
of TikTok, man, how else does the business make money right now?
Right now, this month's kind of slow. We have a little market set up again. You can't just, it's one of those things that you don't have to be there to sell stuff. So it's worth it. They
Are
just,
you
you put
fully
your tag
just
on it.
doing cons?
Mostly
Okay, so you're not. Are you selling online at all?
just TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
And if
So you have a
somebody
TikTok
wants
shop.
something, yep, I have a TikTok shop. Everything I have, all this stuff is all listed on there. But when I
Okay.
go to a con, I'll pull the shop on vacation mode until I get back and I can redo my inventory.
How's TikTok shop going for you?
It's picking up pretty good, but it's very sporadic. Very,
Gotcha.
very
Do you
sporadic.
have any tips and tricks for for people who want to sell on TikTok and start their own TikTok shop?
Watch how you list stuff. They're very
Explain.
picky on their categories, and they'll pull your stuff and then give you like demerit points. And if you get
Okay.
so many of those, you don't get their specials and everything else.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
but they don't have a 3D print category. So you got to go in like cosplay or special clothing, and it's
I mean,
figures.
no one
It's
really has a 3D printing category. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have
it's
to
kind of a
categorize it
disaster.
as, its product, like toys or, props or whatnot.
See, and the problem with the toys is you have to have the authentication to list it on TikTok.
Oh, really?
So a whole bunch of people can't put their stuff on there because they keep trying to list it as a toy. It's like all the dragons and stuff. And the people that are getting it through there are doing it as like a figure or a statue.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Okay.
but
Do you have your own website or like an Etsy store?
no, I did the Etsy, but after their fees and everything, it just wasn't worth it. It was just as bad as eBay for fees.
Etsy's notorious for that. Um, it's but by the time all the fees come out and your margins and all that of the stuff, you basically only get like 30%, dude. Like,
And TikTok's raising theirs in July, but it's going to 8%. But what's saving me right now is TikTok right now is, I think it's 2% and 30 cents per item that sells.
I see.
So, but they do a lot of free shipping, which is great.
Okay. So do you have any advice for like pricing? Like how do you price your prints and so on and so forth?
I'm a little different on pricing. I don't feel like
Okay.
I have to make all my money on one item.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm selling online, I have to up it a little bit just to cover the added expenses, the boxes, the packing, all the BS. But like, what's the best way to put this? My mass, like here, just a second here. Okay. Grab these guys. These guys I just finished up. You might recognize this one.
I know that one.
Okay. These masks, I go through and I put a strap on them, put elastic on them that's adjustable with class. These go for 35 bucks on TikTok.
Really?
Yep.
That's a good price.
And people buy them, they love them. And if I go to a show, they're a little bit cheaper. I'll say that straight up. But that's just because I don't have the rest of the crap. I don't have the time into listing it. I don't have any of that. They pick it up, they go, I like it, and hand me cash or, run their card. So it's a little better, but
What are
you
you
don't have to
running
make
for
all
your payment processor for card?
we just switched to Square.
Square.
So,
Okay.
yep.
I
Zettel
heard they're
can
really easy to
kiss
get
my
into.
ass. Yeah, this new Square one, I haven't used it yet. We just got a new box one. It's like this big. It's pretty good. It looks like it's pretty good. The other Square was decent. We were at whatever PayPal had, and then they switched to Zettel, and Zettel screwed me out of $100 last year. So I'm not going to use them.
Okay.
There was a
So
tap to pay, and a
and
lady tapped to pay.
Square sends you your own card reader, right?
Yeah, this is a big one, so we had to pay for it because our phones don't have the jack for the little free card
Dude,
reader.
mine doesn't either. You would think they'd use
So
like a USB-C to go in it, but
yeah, that'd be great. But we used Square before, and then we switched to Zettel, and then we switched back to Square. So
gotcha. Okay. Sweet, man. So what's next for you? What's going on? What are the plans for the future?
we're gonna see how this year plays out and go from there. Like I said, I think there's 11 shows confirmed. I'm like 7 grand out in vendor fees right now, so we got a lot. That's what sucks about this is you got to put a lot of money out in this stuff to get going on it. And a lot of these shows are a year ahead of time or close to it. So they have your money for a long time before you get any back.
Yeah, so this is not for the faint of heart, is it?
You
It's an
got to
investment.
you got to take a
You
leap.
got to put your investment in.
Yep. But and like right now, you can see some of this behind me, but I think I have roughly 15,000 in inventory ready to go.
There you
And I'm
go.
kind of at my limit what I can fit in the Suburban, so we'll see.
Cool, man. Well,
But
all right, Dustin. That's it for me, dude. Do you have any tips, any advice for someone who wants to start their own 3D printing business?
do your research, see what fits, what you think you can sell, and find a niche that nobody else has.
There you go.
Because
That's
if
a
you
good
do
one, man.
that, you're going to do a lot better than copycatting everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. You're not gonna be part of the race at the bottom.
Nope.
No. Everyone's doing these dragons. Everyone's doing. Actually, a lot of people are doing props, but there are a lot of things that I teach that I'm telling you, no one is touching. No one's doing it. And so, if you guys want to be part of that, click on the link below. Make sure you guys join us 3D printed profits and join our community there. It's on school, and that's it. Dustin, thanks for having me, man. I
All right.
appreciate you coming on the show. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.